Okay, this lesson is on 8.5 quadratic equations on page 334. We've done quadratic equations and using the quadratic formula before in the past, but never with complex or imaginary numbers. So this time the thing we're going to be looking for to know that it's an imaginary number would be if this part underneath here, underneath the root sign, is a negative number. If it would happen to be like negative 25, then you need to factor out the negative 1, and then you would take the square root of 25, which is 5, and keep the square root of negative 1 as an I. One thing you're going to be doing on problems 1, 3, and 5 are trying to find the discriminant, which is looking at only the part that's underneath the radical sign. So if you look over here, part underneath the radical sign, you're going to be using that to find out, is it greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0? And this will let you know whether you have two real numbers, two complex numbers, or just one real number. So if we take a look at an example, we have 4z squared minus 2z plus 3 equals 0. So we have our a is our 4, our b is our negative 2, and our c is our 3. So we would just plug this into the quadratic equation or formula. And then solve that as far down as we can. But in looking at here, the discriminant part, this negative 2 squared is going to be a positive 4, then that's going to be a negative 14 times 3, negative 16 times 3. So that in of itself will make you know that this part underneath the radical sign is going to be a negative number, so it will end up having two complex numbers. So again, you'll just have to factor out that negative 1 that's underneath there once you've simplified it to put an I. And so again, you'll be working this exact same way as you've done in the past. Let me erase and see if we can get another example of one. Okay, so we will use 5x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So the 5 is our A, the negative 2 is our B, and the 1 is our C. So we'll plug that into our equation. So then we will come down and continue simplifying. So negative 2 squared is 4, negative 4 times 5 is 20, and 1, so that's going to be negative 20. That will equal negative 2 plus or minus, so 4 minus 20 is negative 16 over 10. Here we want to factor out the negative 1 and make it an I. And I'm kind of running out of room. So then the square root of 16 will be 4, so we'll have negative 2 plus or minus 4i. Then we will separate out our denominator. And then here that can cancel to a 1 and a 5, 2 and a 5, so we'll have negative 1/5 plus or minus 2/5 I.